What if I told you that 50,000 years ago, a child who had just lost both parents in a world with no hospitals, no government, no social services, no safety net of any kind, did not die alone? Someone took that child in, not because they had to, not because a law told them to, but because something deep inside them said, this child is one of us. Stay till the end, because the last part of this video will completely change how you think about what makes us human, and what always has. We tend to think of adoption as a very modern, very civilized idea, something that requires paperwork, government approval, a formal system built by organized society. We think ancient humans were too focused on raw survival to worry about orphaned children who were not their own. We are wrong. The evidence, written into ancient bones, carved into fossils, and observed in the behavior of the closest living communities to prehistoric humans, tells a completely different story. Ancient humans did adopt children, regularly, deliberately, and the reasons why reveal something extraordinary about who we were, long before civilization existed. Act 1. What happened to orphans in the ancient world? Imagine you are living in a small group of ancient humans. Maybe 30 people total. You hunt together. You sleep together around the same fire. You rely on each other for literally everything. Now imagine two members of your group die. A hunting accident, a fever, a predator attack. They leave behind a 3-year-old child. In pure survival logic, that child is a burden. It cannot hunt. It cannot gather. It cannot protect itself. Feeding it costs calories that the group cannot spare. In the brutal mathematics of prehistoric survival, the logical answer seems obvious. But that is not what happened. Archaeological evidence from prehistoric sites around the world shows that orphaned and injured children survived in ancient communities. Children who could not possibly have survived alone. Children with severe disabilities. Children with conditions that would have required years of dedicated care. These children lived. And the only explanation is that other people who were not their biological parents, chose to keep them alive. The fossil record does not lie. A child with a severely damaged skeleton who survived to adolescence did not do that alone. Someone fed them. Someone carried them. Someone chose them. Act 2. How it actually worked. So how did adoption actually function in ancient human groups? Researchers who study modern hunter-gatherer communities, the closest living equivalent to prehistoric human groups, have found something remarkable. In these communities, orphaned children are almost never abandoned, they are absorbed. Not into a single family in the way we understand adoption today, but into the entire group. Multiple adults take on responsibility simultaneously. An aunt here, an older cousin there, a respected elder who has always liked children. The whole community becomes the parent. Researchers call this alloparenting, the practice of non-biological individuals helping to raise a child. And in hunter-gatherer groups, it is not rare. It is the norm. In some communities studied by anthropologists, up to 40% of childcare is provided by people who are not the biological parents. Grandmothers, older siblings, unrelated adults who simply feel connected to the child. This is not charity. This is ancient human social infrastructure. And here is the fascinating part. Researchers believe that alloparenting is actually one of the key reasons human children survive at all. Human babies are born more helpless than almost any other species on Earth. They require years of intensive care. One parent cannot do it alone. Two parents often cannot do it alone. Ancient humans solved this problem the only way they could. Everyone helped raise everyone's children. And when parents died, the system did not collapse. The child simply had more parents now. Act 3. The deeper reason. But there is something even more profound happening here. Why would an ancient human take in a child that was not theirs? Why spend precious calories, precious energy, precious protection on a child with no biological connection? The answer researchers keep arriving at is one of the most powerful insights in the entire study of human evolution. Empathy. The ability to look at a suffering child, even one that shares none of your genes, and feel something that compels you to act. This was not a weakness in ancient humans. It was a superpower. Groups that took care of their vulnerable members were more stable, more cohesive, and more likely to survive long-term than groups that abandoned them. The compassion was not just moral, it was strategic. It worked. And the evidence of this is written directly into the fossil record. Skeletons of children with conditions that required years of dedicated care, surviving well into adolescence in a world that should have killed them in weeks. So here is what you now know that most people walking around today have never thought about. Adoption is not a modern invention. It is not something civilization created. It is one of the oldest human behaviors on record. Older than writing, older than cities, older than any government or legal system that ever existed. Long before any law told humans to care for orphaned children, they were already doing it. Driven by something that no fossil can fully capture, but every piece of evidence points toward the simple, ancient, unstoppable human instinct to look at a helpless child and decide, you are one of us now. That instinct did not appear with civilization. It built civilization. And somewhere deep inside every single person alive today, it is still there, waiting, ready, the same as it has always been.